I'm very excited, man. But anyway, let's get this going, man. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
How many days we have till Cyberpunk? We having a Cyberpunk party. If y'all haven't noticed.
5 days.
We have
Technically 5
days till the greatest game of all time.
Don't. Okay.
No. I'm calling it now. The greatest game.
Oh man, it's a nervous excitement too. Like I'm just all right. Let's get into it.
This game can't flop. There's nothing.
No way. There's no way.
There's no way in hell this game's gonna flop.
No way. All right, let's go.
Greatest game of all time. I'm trying to tell you.
All right. Hello, and welcome to episode 39 of the SuperWeapon Podcast. It's your boy Darius the Artist, and I got my guy DC here with me today.
Face coming soon. If you're live, you see the message.
I gotta get a we definitely gotta get a picture or something, like a little something funny.
Oh,
man.
say less. I'll take a real picture. I'm gonna take a real goofy picture to put right there.
Yeah, we gotta do that, man. We gotta do that, guys. Welcome to episode 39. We have finally arrived. We're getting close. We're getting out of the 3s and going into the 4s. And I think it's rather appropriate that we're gonna start next week off with 40, considering Cyberpunk is coming out next week. I am incredibly excited. But before we get into that, DC, how's your week been, man? How are you doing? You know, chat, hello, welcome if you guys are listening to the audio version. We record this podcast live every Saturday, now on YouTube at noon Eastern. DC, how's your week been, man? What's been going on in your world?
Man, look. If I'm breathing, I'm blessed. We here.
I like that.
I'm here. It's Saturday, in good spirits. Destiny 2 has been ruining my life. I'm just going to throw that out there. I've been grinding the shit out of Destiny 2. If you follow me on Twitter, you will see. And I've been meaning to ask you, maybe we should start maybe a Destiny clan thing in a Discord. I think that may be beneficial.
I think that's very appropriate. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah.
So we're going to do that. But besides that, it's just your typical work week, man. Doing work things, doing pod things. And my only really fun thing is, I've been playing Destiny, and I really got excited because they announced that the Iron Banner is coming back.
Iron Banner.
And I'm going to get all the Iron Banner armor because it's kind of my thing. And yeah, man, that's been pretty much my week. Good week for me, man. Very good week.
That's great to hear, man. I'm very, very glad to hear that. I kind of second that a lot. This week has been pretty standard for me as well. You know, me and the family here, we opened up Christmas gifts early. For those of you guys who don't follow me on social media or anything like that, we opened all of our Christmas gifts on December the 1st.
New family tradition. I like it.
You know, we figured why not, man. You know, the kids are very excited to open up some gifts, and, you know, hey, man, why not have some fun this year? You know, just break out of the standard traditions for once.
If any year deserves it, it's this year.
Yeah.
Do something different.
Absolutely. And I do have quite a bit of new computer equipment, streaming equipment, content creation equipment to set up. Things are going to look very different next week. The next time you guys see me after today. Yeah, shout out to my lovely girlfriend, man. Once again,
Clutch.
She is the rock under my house.
The brick.
There you go. You know, the foundation of this content creation house, man. And I could not do it without her, man. I just, want her to know that I know she's listening right now. She's probably smiling. But
stop smiling.
Very, very excited to show you guys some of that stuff. I'm going to do a proper reveal. I got a YouTube video idea planned, just kind of like an overview of the setup, updated setup, man. I'm very, very excited for that stuff, but we're not here to talk about that right now, man.
Can I do the ad-libs?
Sure. Sure. Yeah, we can workshop that. Why not, man? Let's have some fun with that. But, we're not here to talk about computer equipment. Not today, guys. Today, as of today is December the 5th. We are technically 5 days away from Cyberpunk 2077. A hot 5. I don't know if you guys saw the official Cyberpunk Twitter. They announced that, and on Steam, I saw earlier right before we got on, that the game actually goes live our time. We stay on the East Coast on December the 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So check your local time zones to see when the game might go live, because it's going to be global no matter where you are. I cannot tell you guys how excited I am for this game. I know, myself and DC have been kind of critical of some of the delays and some of the missteps that might have happened with, the rumored crunch and all that stuff that's been going on in the news the last few months with Cyberpunk. But, as the team gets to the finish line and as the studio, gets close to that release date, I just want to say I'm very excited. And, I feel like, honestly, all that bad press is going to wash away after this game releases.
Gone.
Yeah, I do.
I feel like it's already gone, because people, I mean, if you in these Twitter streets like me, man, you can feel the energy. Like,
yeah,
people are really. The last time I seen this kind of energy was when the PlayStation 5 dropped.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that.
Game wise, what game can you compare that had this much hype when it was about to drop?
That's a good question. Because we have game releases, AAA titles come out all the time throughout the year, but just like you were saying, you rarely get this much hype surrounding one game. Like this game, to say this game is without a doubt going to be the largest and most high profile release of this year, and probably the last few, is an understatement.
Right.
I mean, I could kind of compare it to maybe Last of Us 2. I mean, that game was pretty hype a couple of months ago, but the leaks kind of took the wind a little bit of the wind out. Yeah, derailed it a little bit. Honestly, I can't even really think of one. If you guys can think of one in the chat or in the comment section, let us know what was the last game you were incredibly excited to play. Like this, I'll say for me personally, I haven't been this excited to play a game since Mass Effect 3. To find out just, that level of excitement and that level of just wanting to see what this game is all about.
So what got you so hyped? Let's get into that. What has everyone so bent out of shape for this game? Like, why is everyone? I mean, I could speak for myself.
Sure.
I'm a big CD Projekt Red fan because of, I played Witcher. I still haven't finished it yet, but don't bite my head off. Okay, it's coming. It's coming soon.
He's never gonna.
But it. I think it's the level of work and detail and things like that they put into their game. But now you have it in this urban setting, which is like you go from Witcher to like this,
right?
And you got this futuristic. Me, man, if anybody know me, they can tell you that I love futuristic shit, robots, all that sci-fi thriller type stuff. That's my thing.
That's your bread and butter, right?
Yeah. So when I remember like years ago when they first started talking about Cyberpunk, I was already like, oh, so okay, this is where they taking it, cool. And then as the years pass by, because it's been years, that's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
We've saw this game from just the title when they announced it to
that short teaser video with the female android getting shot at. I mean, like, this game is, I know they've been working on this game for about 7 years, and from like the earliest concepts to when they finished the final DLC on Witcher 3. I think this game really started to get a lot of press around like 2014 or 2015.
Listen to that.
So we've been waiting like
years
5+ years for this game. And right. I think for me, I kind of share a lot of those same likes as you as far as like sci-fi stuff. I mean, you give me robots, sci-fi technology. Like I'm all in on. I love that stuff, man.
Nanobots,
And I,
perhaps?
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
That's a work
We'll
joke.
explain that joke later.
That's a
That's a
work
work
joke.
joke.
Oh my goodness. But I think when it didn't really hit me, I think, until yesterday when I started reading this World of Cyberpunk 2077 book. And I'm holding it up now for, the audio listeners. I highly recommend you guys check this book out. I mean, this is probably
Yeah,
some of the most
and
incredible art I have ever seen, like concept art for a game. And just
hey,
the amount of detail and the amount of care that has gone into crafting a believable universe for this game. I think that's when it really kind of dawned on me that this game is probably going to be bigger than anybody is expecting. I
and
really
I think
believe
the
that.
issues that they tackle in the game is going to make it. Like I said, we don't want to discuss too much, but if you've done the research like me, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It's gonna tackle some things, certain things that's prevalent to what's going on in society today,
I
to say the
100% agree
least.
with that. And that was one thing I was going to bring up. There's definitely things and themes that you can tell are going to kind of mirror what's going on in today's world. Like, as far as everything, like from, people becoming consumed by technology to,
And cosmetically enhancing
politically
themselves.
charged ideas that lead to war. Like, like I said, I don't want to discuss too much. I don't want to ruin anything. I don't want to spoil
We
anything for
want y'all to go
anybody.
into this fresh,
Yeah.
because I know I like Darius was saying he has been avoiding things on purpose to
Yes.
kind of go into the game really fresh. And so have I. I just recently started looking at a few things only because we're so close to the release date. I kind of checked out a few stories, did a little bit of research. So, but for the most part, I've been staying like spoiler free. And I even noticed like Cyberpunk had sent out a few copies, I guess, to the influencers or the big time streamers,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
were telling them too. They was like, "Hey, don't we're sending you this in good faith, but don't ruin it for the rest of the world." Basically, like because people get their reviewer copies. You got the
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
reviewers, the big time game reviewers and stuff, and they have to get the copy early because it's so much game to play. So they have to play it early so they can get out the reviews
Yeah.
on the time of the release. And it's all politics. It's the stuff that happens, behind the scenes that the normal consumer don't see, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what we base our show on as well, to kind of inform you of stuff like that.
So I have a question for you. This is complete gut reaction. What do
Oh,
you
I'm gonna
think
let you
the
have it.
final review score of Cyberpunk is going to be on Metacritic?
I'm gonna go with a not. Do they have a point? Yeah, I would say I don't think it's gonna get a perfect score,
Because it
but it's
goes from
gonna
like, I
be.
think on Metacritic it goes from like 0 to 100. It takes all the aggregate scores of like other websites and people's personal reviews. I can't
It's gonna be in the
remember.
90s.
Let me look up and see what the highest Metacritic game was, like score was for a video game. But if you had to say, just without playing it, just based off of hype or your own personal feelings, let's see.
Hmm. I mean, man, let's be real. It's gonna be up there. Like I said, this game, it can't do nothing wrong. It's been outlasted controversy. Mm, it's been outlasted a little bit of everything, man. Like, I don't know. I would have to say like maybe a strong 90, bro. It's gonna be in the 90s. It's gonna be good.
Okay, okay. So let me
I would say in the
read.
90s.
I have the list of the top 5 highest score games of all time on Metacritic. Number 1 is Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. That scored a 99 out of 100. Number 2 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. That scored a 98. With that one, actually, is very surprising. Number 3, Grand Theft Auto 4. Number 4, Soul Calibur. And for whatever reason, Grand Theft Auto 4 is on here twice at number 5. Oh, it's for different platforms. Okay. So for some reason, the PlayStation 3 version scored higher than the 360 version for whatever reason. And number 6 is Super Mario Galaxy at 97. If I had to say, I think this game, minus all of the people who are probably going to review bomb it, yeah, I think the game's going to be between a 95 and a 98.
I'm going to go with 97.
You're going to stick to the middle? I like the 97.
I'm going to go with 97 because the topics and things that this game is going to hit, I don't want to say it's going to get backlash, but there's going to be a lot of think pieces and a lot of
it's going to be a lot of discussion.
It's going to be a lot of discussion around this game because a lot of this is going to hit home. I guarantee it. Like, I keep stopping myself because, like I said, I don't want to give away too much.
Right.
But a lot of these topics and stuff that they cover, and this very futuristic utopia of beautiful Night City, they're going to hit it's going to touch a lot of chords, man. They're going to bring a lot of discussions up, and I can't wait to see what people take away from it, honestly.
Agreed. I think this game is going to be highly discussed for months on end. I mean, I know myself that I'm not...
You can create toenails, Darius.
The character creation is going to be pretty wild. Like, I can't wait to see what kind of characters people come up with. I know I'm not rushing through the game at all. Like, this game is...
You're going to be a male or female?
I'm probably going to go male.
I'm being a girl.
You know, I thought about doing a female character. I think the jury's still kind of out. Or, I mean, you could do something in between. Like, there's gender fluid characters as well, which I think is really, really awesome.
Yes.
So you could do quite a bit with the character creation in this game. But which life path do you think you're gonna stick with? Street Kid, Corpo, or Nomad?
I changed my mind.
Yeah.
After watching a couple of people vote. And nobody's showing a Nomad no love, man. And I don't appreciate that. So I'm going to be a Nomad.
You're going to go Nomad?
My first character is going to be a Nomad. I'm going to be a gender fluid Nomad.
I like that. Because, I put out that poll.
Everything. I want to break, like, the cycle. Because it's like, okay, I always create a male character. And he's always big and strong and buff. And I just create the same shit, man. And like this time, I just kind of want to step out of the box and totally just do something different and new. So anything, that's a little bit out of what I'll usually do, I'm going to do it. And I'm just going to try something new, man. I feel like this is the game to do it, to break out that shell.
I like that. I like that a lot, man. I think this, I'm really curious to see what the differences between the start points are and, because this game is essentially, at its most basic level, it's kind of like a choose your own adventure story and it has like similar points in between. From what they showed, I think it was episode 3 of Night City Wire, when they kind of went through the different life paths. Like the Nomad one looks definitely the most different because you start outside of Night City versus actually being inside. And I think I'm going to start with Corpo. Like I was originally going to do like Street Kid, but I figured that's the one that everyone would go with.
So you're going to be a corporate man?
Yeah, I think that's something that's unusual for me.
Suit and tie?
Yeah.
Tuck your shirt in?
Yeah, man. Like I think it'll be cool and I can't wait until we start playing the game to get our different, so we can talk about like differences.
Next Saturday is going to be fun.
It's going to be a nice episode, man. I'm very, very excited for us to talk about and we're not going to get too much into spoilers. We'll probably save that for like a bonus episode or something.
We can do a bonus episode and just put spoiler cast. So you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Like if you watch it, then you're going to be spoiled. We'll make a whole separate episode to just keep from spoiling it for people. So that's
Because I,
probably
I
be the
honestly
best
think
way.
we're gonna have quite a few episodes on Cyberpunk. Probably not back to back, but definitely like in
A
parts.
cybercast, yeah, it's definitely
You
coming.
know what I mean? Yeah. Right. But I'm just, man, I am just pumped for this game. And this game, like, I've been playing nothing outside of Destiny. I've been playing a little bit of Call of Duty, but for like the last month, it's really just been Destiny for me. I took a break from open world games over the summer because I got completely burned out on them. I want to say like earlier this year, I went through like 3 or 4 open world games back to back, and it was,
Yeah, you really, yeah, and
and they were huge
I
games.
just
And
don't want them to get bigger with these new systems. I think we expressed this before,
mhm.
but I would rather it become. I would rather them use space better than to make the worlds larger, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
I
for a
completely agree with
game,
that.
let's say for example, like Grand Theft Auto, instead of making it bigger, maybe make more stores open or
Oh,
available.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, don't just make it bigger just because you have the power to do so. Make the cities more detailed. Have more access to buildings and make the city livelier, you know,
That
and stuff
and
like that. Like,
I
I
would
think that's what
definitely love that.
Cyberpunk's going to do. Cyberpunk look like a congested metropolis of the future. Like
I love
it
it,
gives me
man.
anxiety looking at that. Like it's dusty, it's dirty,
Yeah.
there's people everywhere. There's
And
just
apparently there's a
drugs
lot
and
of buildings you can explore, like with multiple floors, which
exactly,
is what I really like to hear.
exactly.
Um, because I think they describe the game like it's not as wide as Witcher in terms of like map size, but it's a lot deeper if that makes sense.
It's a lot more vertical.
Yeah,
Go up.
yeah, I
Don't
like that a
go.
lot. Like
Yeah,
let me be a corporate head somewhere at the top of a building, out
looking down on
looking
the
out
nomads.
on. Yeah, man, like that
Why are
would
you
be
looking
so
at my
freaking cool.
people?
Like,
Judging my people. Look at him. He's judging my people already.
man, I just like I said, man, I can't wait to play this game. I also wanted to talk about because we kind of texted about it a little bit yesterday. The multiplayer, the upcoming multiplayer for Cyberpunk.
Oh,
We are on totally opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to this.
this is where we fight.
Um, so they announced, I think they said like last week that they actually delayed the multiplayer reveal because the game itself got delayed, and they just wanted to, focus on the release of the base game itself. They already said the game is going to have DLC, so anybody that's worried about any like story or single player DLC is still coming. I mean, if you guys played Witcher, like the quality of CD Projekt Red's DLC is, I mean, it's phenomenal. Like it's nothing short of great. I'm more curious about the multiplayer itself, and I wanted to kind of pick your brain and see, how you
You don't
feel
want to
about
know
it,
these
and
dark thoughts.
what do you think a multiplayer version of this game, whatever that is going to look like, or what would you like to see? As someone who played Grand Theft Auto Online for years,
Oh God,
what would you like to see as far as like a multiplayer mode from Cyberpunk? Because it's coming. It's not a speculation. It's coming.
this is too much. Okay. All right. So let's break this down. Me personally, I've watched multiplayer monetization destroy one of my most favorite franchises. And I'm not going to say any names. Y'all pretty much know who. If you tune in, you know who I'm talking about. Grand
It's-
Theft Auto. Yeah. So I'm very weary. Now, I have faith in this company to do the right thing. But then again, if you take into consideration everything that the world is going through right now,
Mhm.
people got to make money. I get that. It's a tough time for companies, everyone across the board. So them monetizing an online experience wouldn't be far fetched.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
particularly am a little apprehensive about that fact that they would. because I don't want to see them go the Grand Theft Auto route. But I don't think they'll over monetize like Grand Theft Auto did and turn into shit bags because it's a wreck over there right now. But we're not going to talk about them. This is Cyberpunk's moment. So I'm very apprehensive, man. Like I don't have any goodwill toward the online mechanics of this game. Since this game is pretty much kind of like Grand Theft Auto, you got a urban type environment or setting, and I don't see. I don't know. They'll just have to show improve with me, man. I'm just very, very, very skeptical right now
That's
about the
fair.
online component. So they can totally prove me wrong. I can come back later in the future, walk back these. I look, we'll bookmark this. I'll come back and walk back all my statements, but I just don't want them to turn into a shitbag company, man, and get overwhelmed with trying to monetize the online part of it. But I mean, I get it because a lot of these companies are in a real tough spot right now. So, yeah, I know it's coming. And just if you could just keep it on a cosmetic level, I guess,
Sure.
and maybe like it's just cool things you could buy just to look cool. I'll be with that. But when you start price gouging and doing stuff like GTA's doing currently, that's when I'm going to come on here and we're going to have a real nice conversation about it because I don't want it to happen to them, man. Long story short, just keep it clean, man. Please.
I
Please.
agree. I agree with your sentiment, and I understand as somebody who's played Grand Theft Auto as long as you did, invested as much time into GTA Online that you did. And I mean, if you kind of look back at the previous generation, we can say that now. Xbox One and PS4 is the previous generation. You can look back at that and really see that monetization really became like a large part of the generations as companies look to cover the price of the ballooning costs of game development. So I definitely understand your feelings behind that. The one thing that I think is going to make CD Projekt Red a lot different is, the first thing that comes to mind is that they're essentially an independent studio. And
Right.
they Rockstar, of course, is under the umbrella of 2K, Take Two, excuse me, under the umbrella of Take Two. And of course, we see even with Activision and other companies like that how monetization can be used as a tool to manipulate their player base. I would love to see personally. Oh, hello, Anderson. By the way, what's up, man? How are you doing? Happy Saturday. Sorry,
And
guys,
one Anderson in the building.
and one Anderson. That's what we're calling you from now on, man. Um, but yeah, I would love to see. I don't know if I kind of want another GTA style experience if it's that kind of online. I think that's
True.
kind of
Me
like what they're
neither.
gonna lean into because a lot of the times with the marketing and a lot of times with the promotion and stuff of Cyberpunk, they talk about how Night City is its own character. It is its own entity, you know, outside of the people just inhabiting it. So I imagine they're gonna have like, you and let's say like, two or three of your buddies can run around just like in GTA, and you guys can team up and go do all kind of wild shit. Like what if they're like, hey, you can go rob the Arasaka building or the Militech company for these upgrades or implants. And the one thing I would be okay with as far as monetization, like you were saying, is like, give me cool stuff to buy. Because I know that in the game itself, and this isn't really necessarily a spoiler because they kind of talk about it. They've been talking about it for a long time. It's, your appearance matters in Cyberpunk. I think they called it your cool or your street reputation. And
Yeah.
that affects how people look at you in the world itself, like how the NPCs view you. And I would love to have like give me all kind of cool stuff to buy, like, and go wild with it. I would love to see that. Just I agree with you. Like, as long as they don't over monetize or do a pay to win thing like Grand Theft Auto currently is right now, I would be okay with it. Like, I'm still very excited to see what they have plans for this game in this universe, because I don't think, a betting man would say that this isn't going to be the only Cyberpunk game we get from them. This is like essentially a new IP that they have been working with the creator with to develop, and they probably want to have around long term. I mean, I honestly could see them doing something like making it a separate, an entirely separate thing from the single player game. Like, maybe sell it like how Rockstar's doing Red Dead Online right now. You could buy just Red Dead Online for like $5 or something.
Yeah, that would be cool. And the fact that they see, you know what, GTA made this same promise about creating DLC also for the main campaign, the story. And so I'm even a little weary of that, because you can say that now, and then once you're online mode, once you see the money that can be made there, once that starts to grow, you can forget about that easily. And I'm not saying, like, check this out. I'm not saying that Cyberpunk shouldn't monetize and get their money. It's just certain ways you go about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure,
Like,
sure.
I get it. You got families to feed, you got employees to feed. I understand that. Monetize, but it's a right way to do it, and then there's a wrong way to do it. Like, when you go from t-shirts being like in game, like a regular t-shirt is maybe like 30 in-game dollars or something like that. This is an example of GTA. Now that same shirt is like 20,000. Like, come on, dog. Like, for real?
I'll say that. And I know there's people that play obviously there's people that play GTA online and still enjoy the game. And I stopped playing long before you did. I mean, like, man, like 3 or 4 years, like 4+ years at this point. I remember when the game was when GTA Online first hit, and it was such a different experience. It was almost kind of like a miniature or MMO light game, I was very excited about that, man, and I saw the potential that it had. Like, I wish they would have kept going with with single player DLC, because historically Grand Theft Auto DLC has been great.
The Ballad of Gay Tony.
The Ballad of Gay Tony. What was the one with the biker gang?
DLCs of all time.
Yeah,
nobody say. Yeah, the biker game, the Lost in the Dam.
Yeah, the Lost in the Dam. Like, most of their DLCs are pretty, hit that quality bar that people like. And, I don't believe this CD Projekt Red is going to take the wrong steps when it comes to this. I mean, I agree with you, show and tell, of course, show and prove, rather. But either way it goes, like, I want to see more. I'm sure they're going to give us more information as the weeks go by. Maybe at the beginning of the year we'll probably hear about it. I don't think that the multiplayer mode is going to come until maybe spring.
It won't ruin the main experience for me, so I don't care.
Yeah, and it's not tied into like the single player or anything.
Like, I just won't involve myself in it if it's a piece of crap. There
you go. Voting with your wallet. There you go. Always vote with your wallet, guys. And I just want to say thank you guys for hanging out today, man. Once again, if you guys are new to the podcast or to the stream, we record this every Saturday here, the SuperWeapon Podcast, me and DC. Please leave a like and a comment on the YouTube video, man. That definitely helps out here. I appreciate you guys for being here today, man. But yeah, I think we've talked quite a bit of Cyberpunk today. You guys are definitely
let's
gonna
get down to the sadness.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of change gears a little bit here, but this isn't gonna. Trust me, this is not the end of Cyberpunk around here. If you guys love Cyberpunk, just make sure you tune in to next week's episode, because we're gonna be talking about initial impressions without spoiling too much. We're definitely gonna. It's gonna be around for a minute, man. But yeah, so let's move on to our next subject, man. Something that was a little bit more shocking news this week. Yeah, what's going on, Paulito? How you doing, man? Hello, welcome.
Oh, that's the homie, man. What's up, Paul?
Yes, welcome. Hello, man. Thank you for stopping by. We really appreciate that. But yeah, so Bioware Bioware. We were so high on you
BioWare,
guys
you
last week,
failed
man.
me.
So much has happened in the last, I want to say, 48 hours. So for those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about, man, the general manager, Casey Hudson, who is
From our beloved
from
BioWare.
from Mass Effect fame, very long time BioWare employee. Him and Mark Dara, who was a writer and the executive producer for Dragon Age 4, announced hours within each other that they are leaving BioWare Studios.
So do you think they text each other like, hey, we're going to do this at the same time? You go, I go, bro.
It's like, you go first. You send your tweet first. Oh,
they flipped a
man.
coin like, yo, you got to go first, man. That's crazy.
To say that this is enormous is like an understatement from BioWare, because
20 years, man.
20
These
plus
guys
years.
got 20 plus years in with that studio, with the building this powerhouse of a studio. Like BioWare may have a few hiccups recently, but this studio is really known for cranking out some hits. Like, there is a cult following of people who live and die by the Mass Effect trilogy. And I'm speaking to one of them right now.
Hi, I'm Darius, and I'm a Mass Effect addict. Hi, Darius. I was completely blown away by this. Like, I was not expecting this, especially after, they a couple of weeks ago finally revealed the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is going to be a remaster of all 3 games. I was kind of feeling like BioWare was getting back to old BioWare. You know what I mean?
That was the consensus, right? That's what everybody was saying.
People were happy. People were, they showed a little bit of the Anthem reboot, and we're gonna talk about it. I want to talk about Anthem briefly because Anthem is definitely involved in this as well, the franchise.
You want me to say it?
No, not yet. We'll get there. Okay. But there's all these rumors that they were forced out of the company, that there was creative differences, that there was trouble in paradise with Dragon Age, and there's all this speculation, and I kind of look at this 2 different ways, right? I look at this 2 different ways. Yes, they were there for some of the most successful years that BioWare has ever had in the studio's history. They launched Dragon Age 2, the Mass Effect trilogy. They also weren't there. They also were there during the not so great years. You got your Mass Effect Andromedas. You have your Dragon Age Inquisitions, which kind of was a mixed bag for people, and you have most recently Anthem. And to talk about that, the
Anthem was supposed to save them.
I honestly think they're done with Anthem, because along with the news of these 2 guys leaving the studio, the guy who was leading Anthem 2.0 reboot has been moved to Dragon Age 4. So he's no longer in charge of Anthem 2.0.
So that means basically they have to pretty much scrap all those ideas that they were working on for Anthem, correct?
I think this means that Anthem either is getting pushed back because they're going to have an entirely new lead who might have their own ideas, who might have their own feelings about how things should look. Or I think they're going to just completely scrap Anthem 2.0 and move all those resources into Dragon Age and Mass Effect.
Hey, man, I'm going to be real. I'm just going to throw it out here, man. Hey, man, get rid of that shit, man. Just Anthem. Just get rid of it, man. Just create a whole new game at this point. Like, I truly believe. I believe what you're saying with I think they are going to scrap it and go to their go-to games.
Yeah.
It just seemed like it makes more sense financially and just time-wise. Like, what you saying, you might be a modern-day prophet. Like, I really do think they're going to be like, hey, man, look, this is not worth keeping up. We got
I
two.
don't. I don't believe so. I really don't think the Anthem is going to survive this
It's not going to be a
fold.
priority in that
Mm-mm.
studio, man. Like you got two breadwinners that can potentially that you already have somewhat of a direction for. You have a story and you have a foundation to work from with those two games.
Right.
Anthem is just like a big cluster of what the hell, it's just like they're making a whole new game with Anthem. And it's just like
It
we're
was
taking
so
a chance
disappointing, man.
at
Anthem.
making this and it still might not hit. Like, what if they do all that and it still don't,
Yeah, because
resonate with the audience?
I mean, because we kind of talked about Anthem when they did that 2.0 update, like that blog update a few weeks ago. I believe that if the game were to be when it was going to be released, that it was going to be free to play. I feel like that's the only way it was going to get people back into the game itself. I mean, because the game has so much potential. It had so much potential, man, and it just it fell short on a couple of critical things that they could have fixed. But just like you were saying, you said it before, Bioware really needs to win. Their next game, in my opinion, can't afford to be mediocre. Like I said, there were already rumors that Dragon Age 4 was rebooted once already. So I don't think we were gonna see it before 2023. I don't. Like,
That's some pressure to put yourself in.
mm-hmm.
I just kind of want the listeners always to kind of put yourself in these offices. That's how I kind of look at it myself.
Yeah.
Because that's a extreme amount of pressure. Like there's a good group of people who can be without a job if this don't.
Yeah.
If their plans don't go off, is like if they don't go off, if they don't get this right, there can be a lot of people looking for jobs at other studios because BioWare can crumble, can literally just disappear.
Every
And
studio is one bad game
that's
away,
how
man.
gaming is. That's how behind the scenes. That's how we only get the glitter and we get the final product, but y'all don't see the craziness that goes on behind the scenes.
The stress and and this is where I would politely remind people to be kind to the developers who are on Twitter, because I've seen people. There's a writer who's still at BioWare who sent out a tweet who basically, because people were basically saying like, oh, you're the one who has to hold the weight of the studio now. Like someone made like an Atlas joke, like of him holding up the Earth, essentially. And
that was real.
He came out and said, hey, this doesn't help us. This definitely doesn't help me. Please don't do this. I have health problems. I don't need the stress in my life. And it's just like DC is saying, we talking about people's livelihoods. Like, make your jokes, have your fun, but be responsible with it. Like, because I would hate to see one of my favorite studios from my childhood completely crumble under another banner of, oh, this game isn't that great, and EA is going to pull the plug on them, Like, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but like I said, I don't think Anthem is going to survive this. I don't. I really wish it would, but at this point, I think it's completely done. I think that it's going to get those, whatever tech they have for that game might get folded into Mass Effect, the next Mass Effect. Like maybe they'll take the flying mechanics and give you a jetpack in Mass Effect. I don't know. Who knows, right? But this news is definitely not a good look for. It makes the future of BioWare uncertain. I mean, they already said that Mass Effect's still going to come out next year, the Legendary Edition, and Dragon Age 4 is still in development as planned, but you never want to see two high-profile people leave hours within each other at a studio. I don't care what industry you in.
That's crazy.
Like I don't care, man. Like that's
if you work wherever you work, all right, military, whatever. That's just like somebody like a general or something. Just hey, man, nah, this ain't it. Like,
yeah.
Wait, what?
Like no matter
what
field you're in, just imagine two of your most senior bosses just
executives just dip
out of nowhere. Like, yeah, we're done. We're as Anderson said in the chat, we're a package deal.
Hey, I was laughing at. I had to put my mic on mute because I was laughing at him. Anderson, we gonna have a talk after this, man.
Oh
I'm sick
man,
of you. All right.
I just like it's definitely a crazy time in the industry. It's always something going on. It seems like every week now, man. But I'm curious to see
Man,
what Bioware is gonna do to kind of reroute.
Bioware is a reality TV show right now. It's just like you're just watching it, and like I don't wish bad on anyone, especially during these times. People need their damn jobs,
For
but
sure.
I'm like, man, it's looking bad, man. It looks bad over there. Like, okay, I forgot because I looked it up. I forgot who was taking over these positions, but it's not looking good because
Yeah.
it seemed like they just kind of put them in the position like placeholders.
I
Like, hey,
mean,
we
and there are still talented people who work there. Like the studio doesn't live or die by two people. I mean, a couple of months, what was it, a month ago, the creative director for Halo Infinite, he quit. He quit
hey
343.
Halo, hey man,
Um, which is
Halo ain't
crazy
happening.
too. I mean, but I'm not gonna just sit here and necessarily say, oh, well, that's the end of Halo Infinite. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be doom and gloom, man, because
Hey, when it
I
comes to
want Halo
Halo,
Infinite to win. I'll say it, dang it. I want Halo Infinite to win.
and this is where we are different because I think Halo is doomed. I don't think that. I think it's gonna eventually get here, but it's not gonna be like nothing we wanted. I think that game is hanging by a prayer. And I pray that I'm wrong. I really want to be wrong. But from the things that I'm seeing, I'm just like, oh
Yeah,
man,
it's not very. It doesn't inspire
promising at
confidence.
all.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, we'll see, guys. We'll definitely. I'm gonna keep my eyes on this story as it develops over the next, I'm sure, couple months or years. Hopefully, we'll hear something about Dragon Age. I mean,
BioWare, please win.
I think Dragon
Please.
Age will be the real indicator of what we can expect from Bioware going forward. I do. I think we'll get like maybe a teaser next summer, like like a little teaser trailer with a splash page of the title. Maybe like a dragon roaring or something in the background. I don't know, but
Man, if that's what you're hanging on the ledge on, man.
it's tough, man.
Man. Well, Dragon Age, let me not say that because they do. It's like Mass Effect. They do have like a very big following.
Yeah.
You know, even though the last one, I could break down why the last one, but we're not yet. But I think after doing some research, because I've never played any Dragon Ages before I played that one.
Hmm.
So when I was doing some research, I kind of see why the last one didn't pop off the way it did. There was a lot of in-game mechanics. To make a long story short, there was a lot of in-game mechanics that they featured in this last one that were kind of poo
Interesting.
compared to what the people who follow Dragon Age for the longest, they were used to certain kind of mechanics and stuff, and Dragon Age 4 kind of, I don't know if they just was slacking on it or if they just wanted to try something new. Like it's a lot of background stuff. The reason why that game didn't go so well, but that's neither here or there. So
Yeah, we'll
maybe
see,
one day we'll
man.
talk about it. One day we won't. Maybe not. I don't
Maybe
know.
we'll get the true story of Dragon Age, or not Dragon Age, of Bioware. But we'll definitely keep you guys posted, man. A few housekeeping notes, guys, before we end the podcast. So like we were saying earlier, we are planning on some podcast specific content for Cyberpunk. We'll probably do like a non-spoiler versus spoiler episode, just so once again, so people don't have anything ruined for them. I would hate for that to happen to any of you guys. I've gone on complete media blackout. I have Cyberpunk muted everywhere on all my social medias. If you send me something, I cannot promise you'll survive the night. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ooh,
Don't ruin this game for
Rusty
me.
Dagger.
Just don't ruin this game for me.
You know what his jail name was?
Never been to prison. Don't listen to
Ice
him.
Pick Artist.
We are also, as you guys can see, is the funny. Excuse me, I have to point this way. Is the funny. If you're watching this live, we are working on a new overlay. We're gonna have DC right over here to my
Y'all get to see
right.
this illustrious beard sponsored by Rick Ross's beard oil. Still working on that. Still working on that sponsorship.
You know, it's gonna happen one day. It's gonna happen. Also, for those of you guys who do tune into the streams every week, I am gonna be taking Monday and Tuesday off because, like I said, I have a bunch of new stream equipment and audio equipment that I want to integrate into the stream. It's gonna take me a couple of days to kind of get all that in here. Things are gonna look a little bit different around here, but it's gonna be better. Definitely investing in this content, and I want to make the best content as possible, and I know DC wants that as well. So be
We
on the
always
lookout
looking
for that,
to
man.
improve. For
Absolutely,
sure.
absolutely. But I think that's gonna be a good episode, man. We're creeping in on that hour mark here.
Oh man, a good
Um,
hot 63.
it went pretty quick, man. It definitely went pretty quick. But I definitely just want to say, man, thank you guys for hanging out today, man. Once again, if you guys are listening to the audio version, we record this live on YouTube for now at youtube.com/there's the artist. Come check us out. Come hang out with us, man. I would love to know what you guys think about Cyberpunk or Bioware situation. Let us know either in the comments, hit us up on social media, or in the Art Table Discord. You guys can find me at Darius the Artist on Instagram, YouTube, Darius on Twitch. I guess I need to change that now. On Twitter. And that's all I got, man. DC, where can the good people find you?
Hey. Well, first I'm just gonna drop my freaking name first, and then we'll get to a little bit of shout outs. You're gonna find me if you're looking live. Always look at the banner above Darius's head. It will show you. But for the people who are going to be listening to the audio later, you can follow me on 1LANGODOTCOM. That's onelango.com. You got to spell it all out. And that's going to be for my socials. Come kick it in the Discord with your boy. We have that link up as well. Come in there, and we like to talk about a little bit of everything. And I'm just going to jump into these shout outs since we've been running a little long today. So first I want to start off with, I hope I'm saying this right, Janice Miner and Paul Miner. These are my people I kick it on Twitter with. They are on
Thank you.
weight loss journey.
Awesome.
And, they are very, very, very nice people. So if you can get over there and show some love, show some support. And she loved the Fresh Prince episode, man. She just wanted to make sure that I told you that, she felt the emotion, man. She felt it, and she listens to all the pod. And she's a mom. She's not even a gamer, and she just listens to us. She said we're cool.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Her son streams on Twitch as well. Paul, shout out to Paul. He's a good dude, man, and I wish you the best on your weight loss journey, my brother. I want to give a shout out real quick to my homie Dirk listening, Deanna, Johnny, Paulito, my boy Paul, who was just in here in chat. That's my military bro. Davin, Quay's listening to us. My boy Quiet Chris over there. I want to give a special shout out to my guy Tori, who put us in his IG stories.
Thank you.
He was giving us the promo. We appreciate you, bro. And to our regulars who come in every Saturday, Mike, Anwan Anderson. We got our boy Weenie over there. We got Brick. Who else I'm forgetting? The Tominator. Everybody who just come through and kick it with us on a regular. We appreciate you guys. We just appreciate it, man. Just stay tuned. We're only going to get bigger and better.
Awesome blossom, man. If you guys are chilling in the chat, just hang around, man. I'm going to take a quick break and we're going to switch over and play some video games. But this is going to be the end of the audio version, man. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.